Happy Independence Day, YouTube. I'm here to review the Emerson Sheepdog folder. It's the first Emerson knife to feature a flipper. This knife was a collaboration between Ernest Emerson and Colonel Grossman. He was in the United States Army, wrote several books on combat and the mindset that soldiers have going into it. If you look at this knife, the flipper serves as a guard, which is something that Mr. Grossman wanted. And your wave mechanism here is a nice thumb ramp. In addition to that, you have your thumb disc, which gives this knife 3 different ways to deploy itself. They were marketing it as the most deployable knife Emerson, or for that matter any other knife companies made. The only thing missing on it is assisted opener, if you're into that. Got ball bearings inside the mechanism. Make it really smooth. It's smoother than some of the zero tolerances I've handled. Smoother than a bunch of Benchmades or Spydercos are. The only thing I didn't like about this knife when I first got it is, if you see in here there's graphite inside there, that's because this knife came with a bunch of lock stick, which as soon as you put the graphite there, it saved my thumbs a bunch. Now, if you look at this, it's a 3.5 inch blade. Put a quarter next to it, so idea of scale there without cutting my hand. And it's 0.125 inch thick. You're not going to break that baby. This knife is 5.8 ounces, so it's on the heavier side. I mean, you have titanium liners. Get an idea of how thick those are compared to that quarter. Titanium liners, thick, really grippy G10 handles, which this is on the more like sandpaper. It's like some of the other knives have like a light or a medium G10. This is definitely your thicker, grippier G10. You have your lanyard hole right here, and your very thick, very strong pocket clip. I love this pocket clip. If you stick this knife in a pair of pants or a pair of jeans, which I'll got my handy pair of jeans right here. Not a whole lot of it's exposed. I mean, you're going to have some. Emerson has yet to market a deep carry clip. But hard to get that thing in there when you're not wearing the pants. And there you can kind of see like there we go. So your carry picture looks like there. Maybe about an inch protruding, but that black clip, unlike the silver clips, which I incidentally can't stand, the black pocket clip makes this much easier to hide. Should you live in an area where people are not as thrilled about knives as we are. Get her out. Get a real solid purchase on that clip too. Alright, so I'm going to cut up some regular stuff here. I'll do this one-handed while I film this. Probably not the best idea here. Sock. What kind of cut we got? Save me from slicing open my hand until I get a tripod for my camera here. I'll go to plastic container. Perfect. Yeah. That could be any problem when you go to open those blister packs. This thing will go right through them. They put a nice satin finish on this blade. Emerson serializes every one they have, which is kind of cool. I mean, some knives don't put a serial number on there. I mean, this was definitely in the pricier section of your knives. I mean, we're not talking Hinderers or your Sabenzas or anything like that, but this was above the $200 mark, which means it's the only knife I'll be carrying for a while. But definitely worth the money, in my opinion. I mean, some people complain about the Linerlock strength. This is titanium now. Lockup is fairly early, so you're not having an issue with that, and it's jimped on here, so you can pop that open and get a purchase on it if your hands are wet. But all in all, a very good knife. I'd give it an A- to maybe an A rating, based on the fact that when I first got it, it was sticky to open, but since that graphite went on there, the thing's been great. But one last thing to mention about this knife, Emerson actually has an interesting way of putting an edge on here. You have it beveled on both sides, here and here, but this edge is actually not sharpened. Only right there on the logoed side of the blade is the edge actually sharpened. And apparently this is Emerson's trademark. Some people hate this, because when you go to, say, cut paper, which I would do, except for I'm holding this one-handed and filming it for you guys, it will somewhat veer to one side or another. You have to learn how to control it a certain way. But really, all in all, not a bad knife at all. So don't let that, you know, big chisel or double bevel design of Emerson scare you away from buying this knife, which, if I forgot to mention, it comes in 154 cm steel, which is very stainless. I've had this in my pocket. It's gotten sweaty. I've wiped it off with a thin coating of Hope's oil, and it's back to looking brand new with that beautiful stone wash on it. But until next time, enjoy your Independence Day, and enjoy carrying your knives. Thank you, guys.